let's quickly recap what we've learned this week. We learned what an environment artist's role is, how it fits into a production pipeline, and what will be expected of you in a studio environment. We learned about the blueprints for success, and how planning your environment early and well thought out can really help you avoid a lot of the pitfalls many make. We learned about establishing a setting, location, time period, and culture. We also learned how establishing our points of interest early on can help in our reference gathering phase. It'll allow us to determine what assets we will need and which ones we don't need to waste our time on. We also saw that creating a quick concept or a top-down map can really help speed up the process of laying out your environment. Creating a quick 3D blockout will allow you to quickly diagnose issues that you're having with your scene early on in a very loose and rough state. We went over what we hope to accomplish in our 10-week course, how we will be focusing on a hero rock, a 360-degree sculpt, 2 boulders that will utilize tiling textures themselves, the Unreal Terrain Engine, foliage system, and how we can use a single tree to create many variations. We took a look at how we break down reference into usable assets for our scene. We took a look at primary, secondary, and tertiary shapes and how these can help our environment gradiate out and flow for a better feeling of cohesion. We looked at creating an asset list and the benefit that can give us. How once you create an asset list, you can really get a sense of how much you will have to create for this scene. If you have too many assets, you can easily start to cut down things here and now and not get swamped later. We took a look at environment planning and how taking the Disneyland approach can help for building a large-scale environment. We also took a look at how linear sections can also be made using highlighting and blocking. We took a look at how to quickly block out a scene from just a paper map. Now on to our assignment. I want you to all lay out your environment blueprints, going over the steps that we learned in our blueprint phase of this class. We want to choose a setting, a location, a time period, and a culture. Things that you feel will really make your environment shine. Students will be required to gather reference and break it down. I want to see 2 reference images broken down for your scene, highlighting its primary, secondary, and tertiary assets. These should be assets you plan on actually making for your scene. You should establish 2 points of interest that you will focus on, and list out what you will need for each of them. Create a rough concept or top-down map of your environment. Doing both is far better and will be more beneficial for you in the long run. Assemble a reference board with your references, concept art, map, and texture callouts. Create an asset list with the assets you plan to make. Remember, you only have 10 weeks to build this environment, so keep it contained and don't bite off more than you can chew. There's nothing worse than an unfinished environment. Smaller is better this time. Quality over quantity. Finally, students should block out their scene in Maya or their 3D program of choice. I want you to keep this fast and loose. We're not looking for a ton of detail here, and you're not going to get extra credit if you do. We just really want to see your main shapes so we can figure out the flow of your level. See if there's any issues that you have before we get into creating really detailed assets and jumping into the Unreal Engine. All right, that's it for this week. If you have any questions, just let me know, and I look forward to seeing what everyone creates.